Hey there, welcome to Coffee with Regina. Today I have a very special guest with me. It is Dr. Terri Levine. And Terri is a transformational business mentoring expert, the chief Heartrepreneur at Heartrepreneur LLC. She is the author, best-selling author of over 40 books on business and marketing, a keynote speaker, a radio host. She appears regularly in the media as a business coaching and consulting expert, and she is just so much more. I have personally been connected with Terri. I connected with her back in 2019, and I've been a client and a entrepreneur ever since. And recently, Terri launched a brand new arm of her business called Done For You Digital Marketing Agency. And I am sure we're going to be chatting about that today. So welcome, Terri.
Thank you. What an honor to be here. I've been watching these and they're awesome. You've interviewed some amazing people, so I'm glad to be with you.
Thank you. My cup today, since it's not morning, it's actually my water bottle. So my cup today is my water bottle.
All right. Well, I have my baby bottle. I'll still join you.
So I mean, I know you like pretty well at this point, and I just want for folks who are listening and for folks who watch the replay, tell us a little bit about yourself and why it is you do what you do.
Well, I love that question. So I have been in the coaching and consulting space for about 32 years now, which I just cannot even believe. And I found it to be very easy to grow a coaching and consulting business. Regina, I was able to get 30 clients in 30 days. I had a waiting list, and it's been like that for all 32 years. And I've been watching coaches and consultants and other people who have transformational things that they offer services really, really struggling to get clients. And I scratched my head and said, you know what? I know how to do this. I spent the last more than 6 months putting together a results driven digital marketing agency to do the heavy lifting, to bring clients, to bring sales, to bring you into the limelight, to help position you as an authority so that you can do what you love best. You can do the coaching, consulting, the transformational work, and let us go and do all of that for you. So that's my way of giving back to this industry, is getting the marketing done so you don't have to do it.
I absolutely love that. I know that's a brand new arm, and in all of the time that I've been working with you, I mean, from a coaching standpoint, I think I've told you this in the past. I want to be you when I grow up.
Yes,
Uh, it's everything that I aspire for my business, you've already done, which is exactly, why you hire a coach who has been there, done that, right? You hire somebody who is maybe a step ahead of you or that kind of thing. And like you said, it's one of the things that you teach is all about, staying in your zone of genius.
yeah.
So tell us a little bit of why you want to stay in your zone of genius.
Well, that's a great question. So, what I find is, especially entrepreneurs, because we go squirrel, squirrel, and we just happen to look all over the place for all kinds of things. What I find is that if we really understand what we're gifted at and what we're brilliant at, then we can focus on just doing that. So I happen to be really gifted at working with my client family members. That's my passion, helping them. I also have a zone of genius, which is in marketing. That's my background, and I love doing that. So I use my zone of genius. What I don't love things like email. I don't want to be posting all over social media or even looking on a lot of things on social media other than in my community. And I really don't want to be hunting for leads. Doesn't interest me, or even chatting with folks on the phone. So I stay in my zone of genius. I'm the CEO of my company. I do the coaching and consulting for the most part, and then I oversee the marketing. And I think this is a really important point, Regina. I see so many people who are gifted at, it could be writing, blogging, podcasting, coaching, consulting. And unfortunately, they're so busy doing so many other things, they're not staying in their zone of genius. Does that resonate and make some sense?
That makes perfect sense with me, and I'm a victim of that. I've been in the, do everything and the squirrel syndrome, right? And you well know this. and one of the things I love most is that you pull me back. And then
Mhm.
all of a sudden it's like, okay, here's where I am. You're like, okay, well, what are you working on? I was like, okay, focus, one
Yes,
thing. Here's what
yes.
we want to do. And it's like, okay, thank you for bringing me back. I really appreciate that. And when you are thinking about, like, your clients and what you do for them, what is like the biggest result that you give to your clients?
That's a great question. So, the biggest result that we're doing at Heartrepreneur Agency, and we just, I think, opened up a couple of more clients to take on because we're not going to take on too many each month. We're going to take it slowly, is literally taking over generating their leads. So, creating the right funnel, creating the right lead magnet, creating the right exact messaging to put on a landing page, and then using whatever means we decide are best for that person. Whether it's, in one case, we're doing local Google ads, and that person got 27 leads overnight. Okay. In another case, they're international company. And so we're doing different kinds of ads and YouTube ads and Instagram ads. So what we're doing is literally focusing on doing the lead generation. Then when I get to work with clients like you, my client family members, which, as you can see, it just makes me beam. I'm so happy. Then that is helping them through coaching and consulting to get more impact, to have more influence over their community so that people are really noticing them and coming to them through reverse marketing. And of course, that also means more income. And as you know, a side benefit is I also teach time freedom. How do you create your business so that you're not trading time for dollars, which is the opposite how most people in this industry work and why they don't make a lot of money.
Right. And so everything you just said there made perfect sense to me, and it made me think. That my new program is called From Chaos to Clients, and what I do is I help women business owners go from overwhelmed to overjoyed. And it actually just clicked in my head because I know it's a brand new agency for you, and it just clicked in my head. Most of that overwhelm is created by the entrepreneur, by me, whoever, sitting here going, I have to send emails, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this. In one fell swoop,
Mhm.
the digital marketing agency can take that entire overwhelm away.
Yeah, let me address that for a second. I find that there's a lot of frustration, overwhelm, your word chaos, which I love. And there's also confusion because you can have one person that says do this and another that says do that, and you're not sure what really works. I think that getting that off your plate is really important so you can stay in your zone of genius and stay in your lane. I believe that you get into this industry because you want to help clients. I mean, I just want to wake up every day, and I do. I wake up in the morning and go, what can I do today to help more people? Like, that is my question every day in my head. I'm not helping more people if I'm learning how to do YouTube ads or Facebook ads, or if I'm busying myself answering comments all over social media or responding to the, triage of emails that just flows in nonstop. I don't need to be doing that. I have taken all of that stuff in my world off my hands by
Mhm.
hiring a digital marketing team for years and years and years that do that work for me, which is why I can work about 21 hours a month. And Heartrepreneur LLC does between 3 and 4 million on average a year. So that's what I want to do for other people. I want to let you stay doing what it is you love. Let us do all of that. Let us do the heavy lifting. We know how to do it. We'll get it done. And I was looking, Regina, for how can I make a big impact on this industry? Like, what is needed? And I kept hearing, I'm overwhelmed. I'm confused. I think I have to learn Facebook ads and get a course on that. Now I'm getting a course on YouTube ads. And do I have to learn Google ads? I'm like, this is overwhelming. So that's where we're at.
So when you think of all of that, and I absolutely love that, when you get the person who says, I'm starting out in my business and I would really love to be able to do that, but I just don't have the money for it.
Mhm. Yeah, it's interesting because you were on the client Zoom call today, and we actually had this come up as a topic. So I'll just tell you how I feel about that. If you're in business and you have no capital, get out of business. And I just tell it plain. You can't be in a business and own a company. Imagine that you started a restaurant or you started a gas station. You can't go, well, I don't have any money, so I can't buy gas to give people. Or I own a restaurant, but I have no money. I can't hire a cook. I don't have enough money for the electricity. I can't market my business. And I don't have money for the food. When you own a business, you have to be capitalized for marketing. And if you start a business and you go, I don't have any money for marketing, which means digital marketing and having someone do it for you, I'm just lovingly saying, go get a job, because you can't own a business without putting money into it. So you can get a small business loan. You can ask a friend or family member to help you. You can, I always say it, and you've heard me say it, find a way or make a way. If you don't do this, whether it's through our agency or some other means, um, I'm really sorry to say this, and I'm being very honest. After working with over 6,300 entrepreneurs, a year from now, you'll be in the exact same place, scratching your head, saying, I can't afford this, I can't afford that, I don't have enough clients, I don't have enough income. Of course you don't. You're spending all of your time trying to figure out how to get them. And there is no way to get them without really having an expert in digital marketing go do it for you.
Right. And so when you were using the restaurant as one of your examples there, one of your little analogies, and
Yeah.
it actually made me think because as a service-based business, we don't necessarily think that way that it's like, oh, well, if you have a restaurant, you have to hire a cook, you have to hire wait staff, you have to, all of this stuff. That you have to put that in there. You can't start a restaurant without it. When and I think this falls for a lot of people who start up their businesses, they just don't think about it in those terms, and they're kind of proud of the, "Hey, I'm the chief cook and bottle washer."
Yeah.
And you can't be the chief cook and bottle washer and create something successful.
Yeah, so let's kind of think that one through. When you go into the industry that you're in, typically you go in because you have a real passion for helping people in that industry and you just want to help people, right? So I want to coach, I want to consult. That's what I want to do. When you open your doors and you decide that's what I'm going to do, and you then are tasked with, well, you've got to bring in clients, you've got to build clients, you've got to serve clients, you've got to create a brand identity, you have to be seen on social media, you have to create a community, you have to create a following, you need a lead magnet, you need emails and a drip camp. I mean, we can go on and on. I can sit here and give you literally the 311 things that you need. If you are going to do all of those things, number one, you will have no time for clients, trust me. And number two, you are going to spend all of your time working on those things. And my belief is, and I've seen it for 32 years, chances are you're not an expert in any of those things.
Mhm.
So think of your business as a company. Most coaches and consultants and people in transformation, they're a business. They trade time for money. And if they got sick or disappeared from the planet, that'd be the end of money coming in. Wouldn't happen anymore. If you're a chiropractor, you're the only chiropractor. Yoga studio, you're the only one. Life coach, you're the only one. Whatever it is. A company is where you sit yourself in the CEO chair and say, I still can work with clients if I choose to, like I do, because I love it. However, the rest of my time is going to not be spent in this way. It's going to be done and handled by other people. So when I first started, it's almost 33 years ago. It just seems crazy to me. The first thing I did, day one, is I hired a virtual assistant. Day two, I hired a bookkeeper. Day three, an accountant. And day four, an attorney. Now, was I bringing in all that money to pay these people? Oh, however, I looked at it like a store. You've got to get inventory. You have to have an infrastructure. You're trying to build a house, in this case, your company, and it has no base. It's just you. So you have nothing. And by the way, if you disappeared from the planet whenever your time comes, you're not leaving a legacy. You're not having anything to sell or to pass on as a dynasty to your family. So start with the end in mind. What do you want to build? And I don't care if you don't want to make a lot of money. You want to make 30,000, 100,000, that's awesome. Do it by staying in your zone of genius, in your lane.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And, you brought up the point of, you know, do you want to create something that you can sell later or as a legacy, or why are you creating the business? That's great that you love what you do and you're passionate about what you do. And you could be passionate about something that doesn't necessarily make it a business.
Hmm.
And a lot of people will confuse the passion with a business. And when you think about that, maybe that's why a lot of people get stuck in the business trap of the I want to start a business and I failed as an entrepreneur, because now they've got that hanging over them because they're like, oh, it didn't work and I'm a failure as an entrepreneur. It's like, no, you're not. You just didn't have really a business to get into. You are passionate about something, that doesn't make it a business.
Yeah, and that's the other thing to think about. There's so many people in this industry who say, if you have a passion, you could turn it into profits. And that's not true. And that really disturbs me. It's a myth that's been put out there, and is one of the reasons people struggle. So let's say that I have a passion, which I do. I'm an avid reader. I read 200 books on average a month. I do it by photo reading, so it's a different process. And I've been doing this for about 12 years. So I have a passion for reading. Does that mean I could create a business out of that? A reading club? I don't know. It doesn't mean anything. It means that I'm doing what I do in business, which I also have a passion for. I make my income here. So if I want to go help in another area around books, I do. So take it a bit further. One of my passions is teaching young people languages. So I was a speech pathologist in a former age, and I'm also a clinical psychologist who really has a background in communication. I love teaching languages. So I've been teaching some little kids that are friends of friends and family Spanish. It's fun. It's a hobby. Now I'm teaching them to read books in Spanish. That's my hobby. Yes, it's a passion. I'm not trying to make profits on that. So establish your business. Get your business coming with consistent income, not that hamster on a wheel thing that most people have. And then you have time to dedicate. I work at a soup kitchen in my town here, where I happen to be today, in North Wales, Pennsylvania, and Lansdale, Pennsylvania. I am on the board of 4 nonprofits. So then you can find ways to give back the other things you're passionate about, because you have a sustainable income for yourself and your family. That's how I feel.
Yeah, and that helps people too with that. That's a big why. Why do you want to get into business? So yes, I'm passionate about this and I have all this stuff that I'm passionate about. Maybe it's not a business. And I do have something that I want to make a business with. Why do I want that business to be successful? When we talk about some of the things that we've gone through, it's your lifestyle, that lifestyle business. What do you want to create? Do you want to create a legacy? What does it look like when you are successful? And like you said, when you can see that end and you start with that end in mind, now it all kind of comes together, because you just kind of came full circle with it, you created the coaching business and all this other stuff that was going along with that. And then out of that, you're able to teach kids Spanish. You're able to work at the soup kitchen. You're able to you created what you wanted for a lifestyle business.
Yes. And I always say that, that about start with your lifestyle first. This is how, being transparent, telling on myself, burning the curtain. When I first started, yes, I had 30 clients in 30 days, and people go, oh my God, that's awesome. It wasn't awesome. I'm being very upfront here. I didn't understand that I had to create a lifestyle first. So all of a sudden, I basically created a job, another job, because I was trading time for money. I had clients in Singapore that were meeting with me at all insane times. I remember I had a client at 5 a.m. on a Sunday, and then later Sunday, I had somebody at midnight. Okay, so I was nonstop. And then I said, this is ridiculous. I backed up. I created a lifestyle exercise for me, which now we make it a part of our Heartrepreneur Facebook group. It's in there. And then when I figured out my lifestyle, I said, okay, Now the business fits into my lifestyle. So that's a mistake that people make. They're creating a business, they forget about their lifestyle. And while they can be successful and financially doing well, they're missing out on life. And, time is precious. We know our birth dates, we don't know our checkout dates. Live as if you're checking out, be present and focused.
Yeah, I love that so much. And I've heard so many people that are in business because I work with the consultants, business consultants and people as well. And every single time I do a breakthrough session, I hear the same story over and over again. And when I ask, what does your ideal life look like? They've some people, most people have this idea of what it is, and they're looking at it. And we actually talked about this a little bit today too, as well in our earlier meeting, which is, start doing some of that stuff now. So you have this ideal life, and it's like, why aren't you incorporating that in? Because most of the people that I talk to, I know, and probably you as well, when you first start talking to them, at least, because I know you talk us down off the fence, is is that we're like working, and we're never stopping to smell the roses. We're never taking that time. And like you said, we don't know our checkout date. I mean, honestly, I'm going to be completely honest here. I don't want to die sitting here at my desk. I don't want to all of a sudden have a massive heart attack or something sitting at my desk and die at my desk. That is not the way I want to go.
Exactly. Exactly. And I talk about this a lot, even with my family and with my friends. I live very much in the moment. So I don't know that I'm going to be here tomorrow or in 5 minutes. I can't live in the past because that stuff already happened. I can't fix it. I can't change it. I can't go back. So I don't even think about the past. Oh, past is done. It's over. The future may come, whatever that might be, may not come. The present, where we are in this moment. I'm here connected heart to heart with you and with our audience. That's living in the moment. I'm not thinking about, oh, what's the next podcast I'm going to be on today, or the next interview, or what happened earlier today. I'm here. I have said this, and I will repeat this probably since I'm about age 40, and I'm well over that. The day that I leave the planet, whenever that is, I can honestly say that I have lived to the fullest. That in each and every moment, I have made a clear choice to spend my time with my family first, client family members like you second, and then finding ways to give back on the planet to friends, to organizations, to movements that I feel very, very much enamored with. That's how I live. And I make my decisions based on in the moment. If this was my last minutes on earth, would I give this person my time or be with this person? Yes or no? And it's not a maybe. It's a yes. I want to be here with you. When you invited me, I was like, yes, I'm all in, right? I'm excited. And hi, Lisa J. And if it is a no, I know that quickly. And no is a complete sentence. So I don't have to say, no, Regina, I'm not going to come because it's thank you for inviting me. No, very simple. So that's a conscious choice that you can make as the CEO of your life and of your business.
Right. And you said from the age of 40 up, and I have to say it took me, I think it was probably my mid 40s. It must be a thing with us that I was around the same age where I was like, what are you doing? And I was at a period where I was doing the same thing. I was saying yes all the time to everything. And it took me quite some time to learn to say no. And
Mhm.
because I had this belief that if I said no, that was a bad thing because my job is to help everybody. And if I say no, I'm not helping them. So that must be bad. And I had this really funky limiting belief, which a lot of people have, that if you say no, it's bad. And it's not. No is a complete sentence. And as we know, and it's very useful. It's very empowering. No is a very empowering word. And when I learned to say that, it was so powerful for me. Go ahead.
I'm just glad you brought that up. So it's interesting. It triggered something for me. As you know, my friend's mom had passed away. And so yesterday was at the funeral. And then I went back to the house to spend some time with the family. And I'm always helping out, whether it's in the kitchen or pitching in or whatever. And yesterday I was sitting with my friend's dad, so the person whose wife had just passed. And he was sharing some beautiful stories with me of how they met, and he was really engaged. And he said to me, "You're the first person to ask me like how we met. Nobody wants to hear." So I was holding his hand, getting like a little teared up just hearing and listening to him. When someone tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Would you mind helping in the kitchen?" So every part of me said, "Oh, I'm asked to help in the kitchen. They must need help. I need to go." The other part of me looked at this man holding my hand, looked at the tears in his eyes, and I said to myself, I'm not leaving. And so I said, no. I didn't say, no, not right now. No, I'm busy. No. I just said, no. And I just very lovingly smiled. And then when I was getting ready to leave, this was very interesting. The same person who tapped me on the shoulder to come in the kitchen, she said, "I'm really sorry I interrupted you before. I saw how you were talking with my father, and he had such passion in his eyes for the way that you were hearing him, because none of us are really listening to him. We're all focused in our own grief, and he's kind of sitting by himself. You somehow really connected with him." So me saying no was a powerful lesson. Yeah.
You give me chills. I got chills. I got chills when you said that. I mean, that is an absolutely amazing story for, how powerful no can be. And, we do that too often. We somebody taps us on the shoulder and off we go. It's always important to stay present with who you're with.
Yes.
Until whatever that is done, and then move on.
Yeah, so since you brought that up, this thing called a telephone, I have a real pet peeve about this, so I'm just going to share. When I'm in a meeting, or when I'm with someone, when I'm having dinner, whatever it is, at an event, whether I'm the presenter in the audience, I have a rule for myself, and that is my cell phone is off. Now, I don't mean that the ringer is off. Do you know that you can actually turn off your phone? Yay! I turn it off because cell phones and email and text and messaging on social media is an interrupter. So when you want to stay focused and really be present, you can't tell me you're being present or you're listening when this device is with you. So the other day, and again, you know me, I teach by experience. I was having a very important conversation with my husband, Mark, and it's pretty major in terms of something that we were deciding. And he was nodding his head and he was acting like he was listening. And the next thing I saw, he was looking at his phone. And I stopped talking. About 30 seconds went by and he said, still didn't look at me. "I'm listening." I said, "No, you're not listening." He said, "No, I'm listening." I said, "I would like your full attention. Would you please at least put the phone down?" And what I found out is he was playing a game with someone online. Okay. His friend told on him. It's like, "Oh, he was playing a game with me." Like, okay. So this is something just to take notice of for yourself. In this case, I'm telling on my husband. He gave me permission. He's like, "I know you're going to tell the story." I'm like, "Yeah, I am." Really notice how you are giving your time sometimes unconsciously. Email was a big deal for me after my first book came out, 30 something years ago. All of a sudden I went from getting a handful of email to getting thousands every day. And number one, I couldn't keep up with it. Number two, if I answered every email, I had no time for clients or for my life. And number three, I don't enjoy email because the tone of voice is gone. It makes it a little crazy. I made a decision right then and there that day. If it's not a client family member, if it's someone else, it gets triaged. I only look at a handful of emails a day, and even client family members now don't typically use email. We use a private channel. So I want our viewers and listeners notice where your chaos is coming from, where your distractions are coming from. Notice what has you feeling overwhelmed. And I say all the time, one focus, one goal. You cannot be listening and present here if you're holding a phone. And if you're scrolling social media while you're watching us, you're not even tuned into us. Yeah, we caught you. And believe me, we've all had some guilt in these areas, including me. So that's just a loving reminder. Be present, be conscious. You are at choice with how you spend your time, and also with whether you're going to truly step into the CEO chair and own a company, or trade time for money and hopefully own a business, which I'm not even sure that you'll truly be successful at.
I love that message. That was fabulous. And I want to honor your time. And so let's just do a quick. I know we talked about the digital marketing agency, which is your new thing. So if people want to get a hold of you and find more information, where do they go?
Heartrepreneur.agency.com. So the word is very simple. It's heart and then RE-preneur. Heartrepreneur.agency.com. And what I really recommend is, we don't know if we can help you, and we are being very selective because we're results driven. Just schedule a chat. You'll talk with the chief consultant at the agency. He'll get a feel for what you're looking for. We'll see whether or not that's even possible. And then if so, we don't have cookie cutter. We'll listen to what you need, and we'll decide if we can help you. And if so, we'll let you know what that looks like. So right now, I think we opened up 5 slots for this month, and then we'll seal it off for this month and see what we want to do next month. So I really do invite you, go to Heartrepreneur Agency, book a chat. We don't do sales pitches. We don't let anyone just purchase our products or services. We just have a heart-to-heart conversation in the moment, see if we can help you.
I love that. And you know what? I think you said the 2 magic words. We don't do cookie cutter. So that right there, is attractive.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for your time. I know we could go on for hours, and so I want to just honor your time. Thank you so much for being here. I have had such a great time today.
It's a pleasure, and I'm so glad for the work that you do in the world. You're making a huge difference.
All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, because you know me well. So to our listeners, if you're catching this on a replay, feel free to put some comments into our comments here. Just put hashtag replay so that we know you caught it on the replay. And we would love to see you at our next Coffee with Regina. Bye for now.
Bye now.